Jared Waerea-Hargreaves has played over 300 NRL games. Over his entire career, he's been suspended from playing 29 games. That's more than an entire season. Some consider him a grub, others think he's one of the game's strongest enforcers. This is the story of Jared Waerea-Hargreaves and includes every time he was suspended. Jared Waerea-Hargreaves was born on the 20th of January 1989 in Rotorua, New Zealand. Jared would move to Australia when he was young and started playing schoolboy rugby at Lona College in Queensland. He was a standout youth player and played his way into the Waratahs Academy in Sydney. Despite the fact he never played rugby league before, he would be picked up by the Manly Sea Eagles for 2008 and played in their Holden Cup team. He started 2009 in Manly's Holden Cup team and would make his first grade debut in round 9, playing off the bench as Manly beat the Broncos 22-20. The next NRL game he played was in round 15, as Manly played the Raiders. This game, Jared would score his first NRL try, as Manly went on to win the game 20-14. He made a few more appearances in the first grade side throughout the season, and even ended the year getting selected to play for New Zealand's National Rugby League team in the Four Nations. He made his international debut as New Zealand played against Tonga, beating them 40-24. He finished the regular season playing 6 games, scoring 1 try. 2010 will start off with Jared joining the Sydney Roosters on a 3-year deal. And his first NRL game for the club was in round 6 as the Roosters beat the Raiders 36-6. After this, he would play regularly in the first grade side throughout the season and even play for New Zealand again in the Anzac Test match. And at the end of the regular season, the Roosters would play in the finals and even making the grand final, but they lost to the Dragons 8-32. At the end of the year, he played for New Zealand in the Four Nations again, playing in New Zealand's 76-12 win over Papua New Guinea. He played 19 first grade games this year, swapping between the bench and the front row. 2011 would be a steady season for Jared, swapping between starting on the bench and in the front row throughout the entire year. And in round 24, he would score his first try as a Rooster. And in this same game, he would manage to get himself his first suspension, getting a 1-match ban for a careless high tackle on Paul Gallen. After the regular season, he played for New Zealand in the Four Nations again and finished the season playing 21 games, scoring 1 try. He started 2012 playing in the NRL All-Stars as they beat the Indigenous All-Stars 36-28. He would play for New Zealand again in the Anzac Test match. Then at the Roosters, he basically played every game this season as a starting front rower. However, in round 18, Jared would face more trouble. He received another 1-match ban for 2 separate incidents. A high tackle on Ben Ross, then another high tackle on Jeff Robson. He finished the season playing in 23 games, scoring 3 tries. 2013 started out normal for Jared. He played in every game up until round 9, where he would face his biggest suspension so far. As the Roosters beat Manly 16-4, he would be sent off in the 69th minute for a reckless high tackle on George Rose. The normal penalty at the time would be a 2-match ban, but because of his previous incidents, he would receive a 5-match ban. Then, in the last round of the regular season, as the Roosters beat the Bunnies 24-12, he received another 1-match ban for a high elbow on Chris McQueen. The Roosters still dominated the finals and went on to win the grand final, beating Manly 26-18, giving him his first premiership win. He ended the year playing for New Zealand in the World Cup. He played 21 games this year, scoring 1 try. 2014 would be another good season for the Roosters, but it didn't take long for Jared to get into trouble, as in round 4, he received a 1-match ban for a late high tackle on Glenn Stewart. While he did get put on report for other incidents throughout the rest of the season, he remained suspension free, as the Roosters went into the finals. They would lose in the preliminary finals to the Bunnies, 22-32. He played 26 games, scoring 1 try this year. Jared started 2015 in the NRL All-Stars and had a steady season for the Roosters. In round 23, he scored an exceptional solo try at a crucial point in the match as the Roosters ended up winning the game, beating the Eels 28-18. Then, after round 24, he would miss the rest of the season, but not because of suspension, but because of an ACL injury. He played 19 games this year, scoring 2 tries. In 2016, he started the year late in round 9, missing the first few rounds due to an ACL injury. and went on to have a solid rest of the season, finishing the regular year playing in 14 games. Moving to 2017, he had a great season, leading the Roosters into the finals, but they would lose to the Cowboys in the preliminary final, 16-29, ending the Roosters season. At the end of the year, he would play for New Zealand in the World Cup. He played 26 games in the regular season. 2018 would be another good season for Jared, leading the Roosters pack as they made it all the way to the grand final, where they would face the Melbourne Storm. They would win this game 21-6, giving Jared his second premiership. He played 24 games this season, scoring 2 tries. Moving to 2019, things started out similar for Jared. That was until round 11, when the Roosters would verse the Knights. He received a 2-match ban for dangerous contact on Kalen Ponga. What's funny is that a report on the judiciary meeting claims that Jared's counsel, James McLeod, said, "At no point do we agree it was late," referring to the tackle. Now, I know a lot has changed in the game since 2019, but I don't know. You guys can be the judge if the tackle was late or not. After returning to the field for most of the season, in round 25, he'll be suspended, again, for 1 match, for tripping James Roberts. Normally, this wouldn't result in a suspension. He was only banned because of his previous record. Once returning, he would go on to play in the grand final, where the Roosters beat the Raiders 14-8, giving him his 3rd premiership title. He finished 2019 playing 20 games, scoring 1 try. 2020 would see Jared have a steady season, up until round 20, where he left the field with a calf injury, only to return in the finals. But in the semi-finals, the Roosters would lose to the Raiders 18-22, ending their season. He played 18 games this season, scoring 1 try. 2021 would be another steady season for Jared and the Roosters, swapping between starting on the bench and in the front row, as the Roosters made it all the way to the semi-finals, where they lost to Manly 6-42. He would have played 23 games this season. 2022 would be another good season for Jared, scoring a few tries throughout the year and making it to the finals again. But in the qualifying finals against the Bunnies, Jared would face more trouble after a head slam on George Burgess, leaving him stumbling from the tackle. This would see him sent to the sin bin and received a 3-match ban. He played 20 games this year, scoring 3 tries. Moving to 2023, he had a slow start to the season, but picked it up halfway through the year, up until round 26, where he received a 7-match ban for 2 separate incidents that happened in the Roosters' win over the Tigers. The main one being the late high shot on Api Coruscant. He would serve half the ban by missing out on the finals of 2023, and the other half when he was selected for New Zealand's Pacific Island squad. He played 18 games this season. Now, for 2024, he started in round 2 off the bench and had a consistent season. That was until round 18, when he faced another suspension after another high shot. He received a 4-match ban for this. But after returning in round 25, he will be suspended again for 3 games for a similar tackle. Jared only returned to play last night in the Roosters' 40-16 win over Manly. Lucky for him, he didn't face any trouble this game. With the Roosters season still alive, so is Jared's time with them. As this is the last year, the 35-year-old will be with the club, as it was announced that he'll be playing in the Super League with the Hull Kingston Rovers on a 1-year contract for next year. Do you think he deserves the title of the biggest scrub? Let me know in the comments.